Welcome to another edition of Lone Star Brahmas Inside the Bullpen, brought to you by Vine Life Realty. And now, here's your host, Nick Merritt.
Welcome into another edition of Inside the Bullpen. Nick Merrick, Walt Ruff, Chad Seward. You guys know the drill. It's a Brahmas podcast, short and sweet today. The Brahmas on an off week, their final one of the season, and there's a lot of things off the ice to discuss in this week's episode. But first, want to get some reactions from the past weekend against the Topeka Roadrunners. First time that Brahma fans got to see the Roadrunners here in North Richland Hills, and the Brahmas put on a big-time show. You saw earlier this week, Kaspersky was named the star of the week because of his performance in net. And I thought overall the team did a great job just closing the deal and really putting a lockdown on that number 2 spot at least in the South Division.
Yes, Kaz was very dominant this weekend. I believe the stat was 33 saves, something like that.
Yeah, 35 shots.
Only a couple let in. That's about as good as you can get. And the team scored to help him out. So it's good stuff. So each one of us can take one thing from the weekend against Topeka. What would it be?
Walt,
Nick.
Me?
Walt. Nick.
Go ahead, Nick.
Nick, Walt.
Mine's kind of big. Mine's actually, this is the first time all season that legitimately I thought this team could win a championship. That was my takeaway, and
Wow.
that's a big one.
Wow.
I thought they played well Friday, but Saturday was unbelievable the way they shut them down. So shutdown defense will lead to good scoring chances. You only need 2 or 3 goals to win if you're going to allow 1 or 0 goals a game. So I was really highly impressed. If that continues, then I will finally be drinking the Kool-Aid and saying, look out.
Okay, so I don't have one thing. I have 3 things, but they're all quick fires, and the 2 of them we've already talked about. I agree with you that we played good enough. It was questionable how we would perform against Topeka, so we answered the call. 2, we already talked about it. Kaz was unstoppable. He seems to be peaking at the right time.
Yeah.
At the end of the season here. And then 3, you got to give it up for Bud Madej dropping the gloves and
Agreed.
and having quite the punch fest there on Friday night.
Slugged Hiko Saka there. Almost Romo got in too with his future teammate at Arizona State.
You got to love that.
Yeah.
What do you got back over there?
That's who I was going to talk about, future Arizona State teammate of Jacob Romo. It was Johnny Walker. I was really looking forward to seeing him play coming into the weekend. He was 8th overall in North American Hockey League scoring. This was the first time in 2016 for him, dating back to his days with the Minot Minotauros, that he was held without a point in a weekend series. And furthermore, and now he has dropped below the point-per-game average with the Topeka. He was at 7 points in 6 games coming in. Now he's at 7 points in 8 games because he was held scoreless.
Johnny Walker could be the greatest hockey name ever. I mean, not only can you get a sponsorship with Johnny Walker once he turns 21, of course, but he could be Johnny Hockey. I mean, there's so many.
I thought he'd be Johnny. It could
There's
be
so many
Johnny
directions
Hockey
there.
all.
I think they do call him that up in Topeka, just judging by some of the research.
Yeah.
Or maybe it stemmed over from Minot. But yeah, I was looking forward to seeing him play, and I guess I was a little underwhelmed.
I didn't notice him other than the name was really cool. So
Yeah, he didn't really do that much. And plus the point of your stat there, shutdown defense.
shut down D. Love it.
Yeah.
So one more thing to talk about Kaz. He had a little bit of big news before the weekend, right?
He did.
A little bit.
Yeah, going
Kind of a
off
big deal.
to Yale University. Big school commitment for him.
Wow.
I think it was kind of nice for him to get off his chest. I think a couple Brahmas might be looming and
Yeah.
possibly next, but now 2 Ivy League commits too. So
2.
good job for him
Yep.
getting it done in the classroom, on the ice. You love to see that.
Yeah, Yale. I mean, that's a great program. That's epic. So he'll be playing up against Fallon regularly.
Yes.
And who knows? We could have more Ivy League commits come this year. We've had a few schools.
Got some interest. We have some sniffs.
Yeah, they're kicking the tires on some of these guys. Yeah, sniffing, kicking, however you want to look at it. So more commitments coming. We've had an abundance of scouts here.
Oh, man.
You guys don't see it quite as much because you're up in the booth doing your
Yep.
thing, but oftentimes these guys are showing up unannounced, which is totally fine.
It's crunch time for them.
You do a good job of leaving the notes for them and everything, but we'll be right in the panic of it's 7:10 on a game night. We're trying to get the color guard where they're supposed to go, the kids choir or whatever, and then in out of nowhere walks Bob from Colgate or
Right.
Ken
Wherever.
from Harvard or whoever from the Colorado Avalanche. We've had NHL scouts here quite a bit here lately, which is
a ton,
I
even
just-
more than last year.
more than last year.
Which is, it's shocking, but it's also not. I guess everybody was looking at Vidmar and Kupski last year. This year they're kind of looking at some on ours. I think it's pretty obvious who, but we'll just leave it as it is for right now. Don't want to jinx anything.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about it before. You come to Dallas, it's obviously easier to get to, especially if you're booking like a last-minute flight or something. It's easier to get here. So
Yes.
sometimes these scouts could be looking at guys on the other team, which is just big benefit for our guys playing at this. From a recruiting standpoint, you're playing here, you're playing in front of scouts. I can't remember one game this year where we have not had at least one collegiate or NHL scout here.
Well, there is actually a funny story on that, too, with being in Dallas of a convenient spot. There were a couple situations where a scout wanted to come here, and either the player got sick last minute, and they booked their flight coincidentally last minute, so they had to change around flights, but they were able to do it because it was in Dallas, so at least that's the good thing. But, yeah, I mean, just for this weekend alone, I know there's guys up in the Northeast touring colleges, some going a little more west, so there's about 3 guys, I think, at least right now on the look for their next future move, be it next year or 2 years from now, which is great to see, and it's a big perk of having an off weekend in March. So, hey, you rest up for playoffs, you get the guys hopefully ready for the next step in their hockey career, and it's good.
And our guys better step it up, too, because I predicted, I think, 14 D1 commitments, and so we've got a little ways to go to
You
get
did.
there.
You
Don't
did.
make
Well,
me a liar.
I think we're at, like, 9.
Well, we still got that's
Yeah.
5 is quite a bit to go. But the season will be extending, as we know, as we clinch the playoffs.
Yes.
Is that right? With a win, was that on Friday we clinched or Saturday?
Saturday.
Saturday.
Clinched it Saturday. We could have, but, yeah, it just worked out Saturday.
So Wichita has earned a spot at the ball, and now we are, and we're
Yes.
just waiting to see who the final. It looks like it's going to be
It'll probably
Corpus
end
and
up.
Topeka, right?
No, I think it might be Odessa and Topeka.
Is that right?
Odessa just passed Corpus Christi. They have a huge weekend this weekend. Odessa against Corpus Christi again, back-to-back weekends. The Jackalopes just beat them 2 in a row, so if they make that 4 straight, they probably are. They're in the driver's seat right now. Put it
Just
that way.
who has Amarillo the most times is who's going to get it, basically.
Right? I don't actually know.
Odessa
Topeka's
has
got them 4 times.
Oh.
Odessa has 2 games to give. Both teams are statistically better at home. So coming up for this weekend, that would mean an advantage for the Odessa Jackalopes.
Yeah.
Look at Walt tweaking the knobs on the stats over there. I love it.
Yeah, they beat the Ice Rays on the road too, so they did get the sweep there. Yeah, I mean, obviously the South, there's a lot of things going on for the first round. I think the one thing to keep in note is this Brahmas team has a chance for that top spot still. Yes, it's an outside chance, but they're kind of in that weird situation where, like, Topeka's never catching them. This weekend proved it. They're going to be 2 at the worst, or at least unless they, like, lose out and Topeka wins out, which is so rare. They will be at least have that home ice for the first round, but they still have a chance to win the South for back-to-back years.
I mean, yeah, I guess,
You
but
predicted 40 wins. They're at 32.
yeah,
think they could win 8 in the last 10?
They could. But I don't know. I mean, first or second, it's irrelevant. You still get home ice. It'd be nice to have South Division regular season champions.
Right.
We get another banner from the league to hang up. That would be cool. But but either way, we're going to be looking at hosting the first round of the playoffs against either the number 3 or the number 4 seed,
Right.
depending on how it goes. April 15th to 17th, somewhere in that wheelhouse. Obviously, it is not league approved yet. Those
Right.
are just dates we're throwing out there. It would be somewhere in that wheelhouse. And
It's best of 5 series, right?
best of 5. So I think it would be 2-2-1
Yes.
is the format. Remember last year we
There's some hoopla.
there was hoopla. It was the Wenatchee Wild and the Lone Star Brahmas, which it was basically their coach Bliss Littler and me that argued back and forth for about a week until we couldn't come to a decision. The league had to step in and we won. I mean,
well, good for Frank too. I know he stood on your side and made sure that these boys deserved it. We're getting home ice, and the same thing will apply this year.
He said it a little bit more sternly than that, but yeah, Frank said
that was the gist of it.
The whole point of winning first in the division is you get home ice. So sorry.
Well, playoffs in the future. We still have one more full month this season. Still 6 more home games out of the last 10 games of the regular season. And that brings things to our final point of the podcast, our 3 things that's bugging us segment. Let's see. I want to start with Sir Walt on this one. Let's see something that's bugging him.
I got to pass. I got to come back. I'm not prepared for this. I'm sorry.
All right, Nick, you start.
I wouldn't say it's I can't say it's bugging me. This one's an easier one, but ever since the Top Prospects tournament week back right after Valentine's Day, I have just been anxiously waiting an announcement from the NAHL about getting their NAHL app. I've been waiting. Walt and I were there. We heard it on the broadcast, and we are just I feel like every fourth day I'm kind of checking the app store and making sure it's not released, because it's so helpful from us, at least in the broadcast standpoint. Not looking through our computer, I could literally just be like, at my fingertips, app, score, here's the update, here's who scored. You get the news on your phone, which is nice, rather than having to open up a browser. It's not bugging me, but it kind of is. I want it. Where is it? It's
sounds
soon.
like it is.
I guess it's coming soon, but I'm ready for it.
Well,
That'll be cool.
All right, well, Walt still calculates his thing that's bugging him. He's weighing between about 10 different things. There are a few things that bug me, and it just continues to bug me as we get closer to the end of the season. The poor scheduling, us not having Wichita. I'll say it again 10 more times. It's stupid that we're coming down the stretch and we don't see this team. I know it's hard to predict at the beginning of the season, but it is what it is, and you're trying to catch a team and you don't ever play them. It's hard.
Right.
And then the next thing is the Final Four. And I know we're putting the cart before the horse, but I feel like should we advance to the Final Four again, it's going to be a big letdown. To go to Edina, Minnesota, which I hear is lovely in May. I do hear it's beautiful. Grass is blooming. But still, you get to the Final Four, you want to have some games at home, right? I mean, you don't want to have to do it all on the road or a neutral site.
Right. Yeah, which I guess would favor the Central and Midwest teams because it's easier travel for their fans.
I don't know. It's our fans have proved that they will travel.
They would travel.
We're not going to have a crowd of 800 Brahma fans going that distance, but there will definitely be some that go.
Walt and I would hop in my minivan and drive the 16, 18 hours up there.
I don't know about that one. We might be looking at flight options there.
I'm sure we would, but you know what I mean. If it was last minute, man, we might as well start looking now. This team better go to the semis. We're going to book our flight like tomorrow. It's an off weekend. Now is the time to buy.
It is. It's a buyer's market,
yeah,
Nick.
It is.
So what do you got, Walt? What's bugging you?
I'm pretty at peace as of late, but
wow.
I mean,
breaking news.
Yeah. I don't know, maybe it's just because I've got so much going on, but it's crazy how fast this season's going. So maybe that's what's bugging me. It's like, holy cow, we're already talking playoffs and then end of the year, and then who knows what this summer is going to bring. So I feel like I just got here yesterday, and now we're already talking like,
Can confirm that. We're in our new office. Our whiteboard of the stuff to do is pretty loaded right now. I know whenever I go down the chat, it's always like, we're quick, like, yeah, what's going on? Give me the update. Like, he's rocking downstairs. It's we feel lonely. It's like the first time we get to see you and talk to you all week.
It's great. And, if we were broadcasting volleyball, this would be ground zero. This would be a great booth as we watch a volleyball camp. But this is good. You guys need your own space. You need a little quiet space for audio editing.
Shout out Hunter Wildfire.
Yeah, shout out for Hunter Wildfire. We do have a funny story about Wildfire that will be coming to light soon.
I think I already know it.
Shout out to season ticket holder Meg Sprinkle, who had a funny tie-in to Wildfire, which we'll eventually get to. But you guys got one kudo? You got a kudo to give out to anybody? Something good? Thumbs up? Long distance high five?
Right? I mean, hey, kudos to the guys. I'm glad maybe March it's clicking.
I'll say kudos to Kaz for committing, choosing wisely. Yale.
There you go.
And
kudos to the social media base for making First Goal Fridays better and better every week.
There you go. Yeah, they're really jumping on that promotion.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Oh, yeah, we got to give those pucks away.
And the winning Wednesday, that's going. That was a good video you did this last week there, Walt, with the frozen. Jerseys weren't frozen, were they?
No. It's just trying to watch 6-foot guys put youth-size medium jerseys on over their shoulder pads.
Yeah, Marabella with the remove the equipment technique did not really work out for him.
No. Backfired badly.
It was a good strategy.
Yeah, he told me too. He's like, I just tried to yard sale everything, and I figured it would work. And here's the guys throwing their jerseys on over their pads.
Hey, sometimes you study long, you study wrong. Well, what else we got? Anything? Short and sweet?
An off weekend, baby. We are keeping it short. We got to get back to work.
You do. I think Walt's jumping in the booth solo for the NA3HL.
Yeah, he is.
Who do we got here? We got Sugarland.
Yep.
All right. There you go.
We got Sugarland. Looks like some of the boys are going to join us in the
Yeah,
room. So
looking through the fish hole.
Yeah. This is pretty funny. I should take a picture of this, and we'll get it up social media for later. But anyways, that's it for Inside the Bullpen. We appreciate you for joining us, and we will see you on our next episode. Enjoy the off week, and we'll be back in Brahmaland very soon. Thanks.